In this video, I'm going to go into our CRM and I'm going to take a look at a lead that my acquisition manager, Gabe, is currently talking to, and I'm going to comp it in front of you and I'm going to talk through the process so that you can kind of see what I'm thinking about as I'm comping properties, right? So let's go right into our CRM. We are on Podio here, and these are our leads, at least the ones that Gabe is talking to right now. But let's take a look at Timothy Williams here. This was a lead, I believe, let's see, when did this lead come in? Let's see if it's been a little while. Okay, so Friday, December 6th, so a couple weeks ago. All right, let's take a look. So 1514 Wishing Well, let's take a look at the notes. 3-bed, 1-bath, 864 square feet. No updates in the last 5 years. House needs a facelift. Asking price, 140, and can go down from there, but doesn't want anything less than 100. I asked what would need to happen before accepting an offer, and she said she would need to get her parents on board and make sure the paperwork is right. Okay, cool. So let's take a look. All right. Wishing Well Way. What I like to do, I like to pull it up in 2 different tabs here so that I can keep it up in one reference here, and I can look at the neighborhood in the other. So I'm going to go out, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to see exactly where we are here. So, okay. I can keep the icon right there so that I can make sure I'm marking off the right spot. So I'm going to go down here and make sure that I'm looking at the right area, right? Okay. So I'm in this little section right here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a barrier around the major road so that I'm looking at this specific subdivision, right? So I'm going to block in all these major roads so that I'm only looking at these houses in here. And honestly, this is even a pretty big radius, but we're also in Claremont, which there's a little bit less houses out there. So let's take a look at this. All right, I have some filters from the last comp, so I'm going to reset all the filters. And then I'm going to go back. First thing I'm going to do is just take a look at everything that's sold in the last 6 months and go to houses, right? So now I'm looking at how many houses have sold in the last 6 months, but I want to filter it down more than that. So let's go back and look at this. So 864 square feet. So I want to make sure that I'm only comping it with other houses of the same similar square footage. So anything over probably 1250 is going to be too big. Let's take a look and see when the house is built, 1959. So if we're going by 20 plus or minus 20 years, let's go 1979 to 1939. And press apply and see how many properties we have left. Okay, so we still got a decent amount here. Next thing we're going to want to look for is the lot size. So our lot is about 7,000 square feet here, so we want to make sure that we're not on any huge lots. So maybe let's just cut out anything over 1/4 of an acre, which it looks like none of these are on 1/4 of an acre anyway. So okay, so here is another property that's actually on Wishing Well Way, which is good. It's always good to have the same street. This one's a little bit bigger, 3-1, about 250 square feet bigger. But let's take a look and see what it looks like. It's also got a carport. Let's see what ours looks like. Ours looks like it's got a carport too. Okay. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, but we want to look at if it's wood block or frame. Okay, so it looks like it's cement. Yep, so this one was made of block. So especially in Florida, if you have a house that is a frame house rather than a frame house rather than a cement house, those houses a lot of the time they're bought for cheaper because the renovations are more extensive, because a lot of the time you're gonna have termites, you're gonna have issues like that. So, but okay, we got a block house, so that's good. So let's take a look at this first comp here. And what we're looking for, this one just sold on Christmas Eve, which was like 3 days ago. So this is a really, really fresh comp. So what we're looking for is signs of this being a flip, which this doesn't look like it's a flip. Yeah, this is definitely not a flip. Okay. Not in terrible shape, but certainly not freshly renovated, right? Okay, so we're looking at this, and this sold for... It also looks like it's got some kind of Let's look at the listing description. I think this might be an ADU or something back here, which an ADU is an additional dwelling unit. Step inside this 3-bed, 1-bath home and feel the warmth. Yes, mother-in-law suite. Okay, so this one has a mother-in-law suite, so probably not the best comp because ours, I don't believe, does. So let's keep looking. All right, let's keep going here. 4-bed, another one on Wishing Well Way. A 4-bed, 2-bath, 888 square feet. That's a lot of rooms for a really small house. This also looks like it's cash. Wow, and this sold for $290. 3-bed, 1-bath with a small attached studio. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of this in this neighborhood. I don't think ours has any notes about it though, right? Yeah, this doesn't say anything about a mother-in-law. But if we found out that there was a mother-in-law, then obviously these comps become a lot better. All right, another one on Wishing Well. Wow. Okay, let's take a look. Very rare that the first 3 comps are all on the same street, but that's making it easy for me. Okay, let's take a look. Not many pictures with this. And the house does not look like it's renovated. So, yep, great investment property. So this one did sell on the MLS, so it's probably going to sell for more than ours would. But an investor, it looks like, bought this for $187. Now, it is a little bit bigger than ours, but this kind of gives us a good idea, right? Now, if you put a property on the MLS, the open market, you're always going to sell it. Well, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time you're going to sell it for more than you're going to sell it to an off-market wholesale or as a wholesaler to an off-market fix and flipper. But we now have at least a cash comp that we can take a look at. So, okay, let's keep going. Let's see if we can find a flip. Here's another 3-1. This one's a little bit bigger than ours. Let's take a look and see if this one was flipped. All right. This one's got the carport. Another nice block house. Not flipped. Wow, this one needs work too. Okay. And honestly, guys, sometimes it's even better to see houses like this that have sold than fixed up houses, because I mean, forget having to do all your numbers. You have your cash comps right here. I mean, if somebody bought another fix and flip that needs a full rehab for, I mean, this is pretty high at $250,000. But if you can find cash comps, houses that have sold off market, especially that are beat up, sometimes that's even better than finding an ARV. Because if you find, for example, another house like our last comp, for example, let's take a look at that last one again. If that last one sold for, let's see, this one right here. Oops, I accidentally favorited that. If this one sold for $187,000 off market, I mean, I might be able to get $180,000 for mine off market, $175,000. So this kind of gives us an idea of the same. But let's keep looking. Let's take a look at another one of these. Let's keep looking at these. I want to see why this one sold. This seems pretty high. Is there a 3-bed, 1-bath? Yeah, it still needs some TLC. 250. This seems pretty high to me, so I'm gonna keep looking. But interesting that this sold for $250,000, especially because I know the area, and that sounds really high for over there. But let's keep looking. All right, here's one for $180,000. Oh, okay, here we go. So this one actually might be a really good comp here, because if you can see, it shows up as a sold comp, but also when we click on it, it's back on the market, and also it's pending, which is awesome. So, okay, cool. Let's take a look at this. So this house was purchased for $180,000. Remember, our last one that we looked at was purchased for $187,000, and then it was relisted 2 months later. So it doesn't look like they did a full remodel, but they listed it for $289,000, and it looks like it went pending pretty quickly. So let's take a look at this and see. Yeah, I mean, this is new appliances, new flooring. It doesn't look like a top to bottom remodel, but the area also is like a starter home area, so it's not going to be, the finishes don't need to be quite as nice as in some higher higher areas. So, okay. All right. I like this comp. So we see another house that's sold. This one's a little bit bigger than ours, but it's sold for 180,000, is now pending on the market for 289,000. So, okay, let's keep looking, but I like this comp. I'm going to keep this one. Actually, this is what I want to do. I want to keep this open in a new window. Or not new window, new tab. There we go. Okay. All right, and then let's keep looking here. Here's another 3-bed, 1-bath. This one sold for 330,000. Let's see if this was a flip. Okay, carport. Doesn't look like a flip, but it looks like it's in good shape. Again, it's a little bit bigger than ours, but yeah, this is a well taken care of house. Doesn't need work. Move-in ready. For sure, move-in ready. Okay. Good shape. Let's make sure there's not a pool or anything. Nope, no pool. Let's take a look at the listing description. New roof 2022. Okay, so this is probably going to be a good comp too at 330. Now it's a little bit bigger than ours, so we're going to have to keep that in consideration. But now, so if you think about it, if you look at it here, we have a house that's, I would consider this one an inferior shape. This looks like inferior finishes to me. Carpet still in some of the rooms. These kind of look like cheap finishes. And this is pending at 290. And then again, guys, look at this one. Oh, excuse me. Look at this one that is sold for 330. Oh, my bad. I just had a cough attack there. But okay, let's keep going. So we have one that's pending at 290, one that's sold at 330. Here's another one. This is a 3.2. So this looks like a nice house. And this one also sold for 315. But I want to see why the 3.2 sold for less than some of these other houses, especially because this one has a garage. Interesting. So this looks really nice. This looks like a full-on remodel. Especially because there's no furniture. And 2 full bathrooms. Okay. So this is why it's important to get a full picture, guys, because now here I am thinking maybe we're looking at, a 315 to 320 ARV for our house that's, about 900 square feet. But here's a 3-bed, 2-bath, bigger than ours with a garage and fully renovated that sold for 315. So, okay. Good to know. Let's keep going here. 3.2. Here's a 3.1. Let's take a look at this one. This one's closer to the size of ours too. This one looks like it might be a flip. Yeah, this looks like a flip too. Another nice house. Very nice. Okay. Is this 2 full bathroom? No, this is the same bathroom. Okay. 3.1. All right, I like this. 320. See, now this is why comping is a little bit of an art. Explain to me why a 3-bed, 2-bath, why this sells for 325,000 and this one sells for 315. I don't understand that, but that's why comping is kind of an art. You want to kind of get a full scope, right? And maybe there's something going on. Maybe they took a little bit better of a deal, but we got kind of a range here, right? So, okay, this is a 2.1, 4-bed, 2-bath. So I think we have our best comps here, right? So, oops, I forgot to keep our comps up. Let's take a look at our 3 comps that we like the most. Oh, I did have that one. Okay. So we have Hartley, we have Thomas. Where was the other one? not this one, because I want to use this one because it's a 3-bed, 1-bath. Yeah, okay. So if I take a look at this one sold for $325 a square foot. This one sold for $342 a square foot. And this one is pending at $278 a square foot. But again, I don't know if I'm going to use this one just because this one is not. This looks like they did very bare minimum. So we're not going to sell to people that are going to do bare minimum. We're going to sell to the people that are going to kind of do a full remodel. I mean, not always, but if we got other ones that are full, or I'm sorry, if we've got other comps that are complete remodels, then I'm going to use those because it's showing the potential, right? So we've got 342, we've got 325. Let's get one more. Let's take a look at one more here. I'm hesitant to use this one because it's a 2-bath instead of a 1-bath. Let's use it. Well, no, because this one wasn't remodeled. I want to get a flip. Okay, let's use this one, but let's just keep in mind this one has an extra bathroom and a garage. So keep this one in mind. Let's take a look at what this square. Oh, well, 308. See, again, this is confusing sometimes why this one would sell for 308 a square foot when it has a garage and it's fully renovated, and we have others that are not fully renovated, have a carport and a less bathroom and are selling for more. But that's why we're going to take averages, right? So let's take a look at this. We have, I'm going to pull up my iPad here. Let's go to the next. All right, so we have one at, all right, so if we take a look, we got 342, we got 308, and we got 325. So we want to come up with kind of an average price per square foot, right? So let's go 342. The next one, 308. And the next one, 325. Now we want to get an average, so we're going to add those up. 308 plus 325, and then we're going to divide them by 3. So our average is 325. So our average price per square footage is 325 a square foot. Right? Now we're going to take that and we're going to look at how many square feet does our house have, right? So let's go back. We're at 864 square feet. So, all right. So according to this, our ARV, and this is why it's pretty important to think about price per square footage and make sure that you're in the same relative square footage size, is because if we take, like, look at this, we look at, oh, okay, this house sold for 325, this house sold for 315, this house sold for 330, but if we take our price per square footage and times it by our house, which is definitely the smallest one in the area, at least what I can see, that comes up to about 280,000, right? 280,000. Now, I believe that we could probably get maybe closer to 290, but let's say 285, right? Let's give it an ARV of $285,000. That's going to be our ARV. So now we're going to times that by 0.92 to take off our 8%. What's that going to give us? So 285 times 0.92. Now we're at 262, right? And now we're going to take off our renovations. So if we look at our property here, ours is only 864 square feet, right? So it kind of hurts us on the ARV because, as you can see, we got houses that are over 1,000 square feet that are selling for 315, 320, 325, 330. But ours, because we have such a smaller house, our ARV is only about 285. Now, this is pretty, I think, conservative. I think it could potentially be higher. But again, like I said, I would rather sell for more than I expected and make more than I expected than sell for a lot less than I expected, right? So let's take our 864 square feet, assuming the house needs a full remodel. We're going to do 55. We're going to do 55 square feet, so that's going to give us a renovation budget of about $48,000. So our fix and flipper is going to put about $48,000 in rehab into the place. Now our fix and flipper is also going to want to make some profit, right? So again, if we're going back to our, oops, I forgot to bring up my iPad. So we have our $48,000 rehab right here, and we're going to minus also our investor's profit, which again, like I said, is going to be about 15% of the ARV. So 15% of 285, that's about 42,000. So the flipper is going to want to make around 42,000 for their profit. And we're going to minus that and figure out what our wholesale price is. So we have 262,000 minus 48,000 minus 42,000, and that's going to give us $172,000. And that is our wholesale price, right? That's what a fix and flipper roughly is going to pay for it. And if you remember, this is why it's cool to be able to see, like I said, those comps that are not fix and flips, the ones that aren't ARV yet, but the ones that are also cash. Remember when we had that one property that sold for 187, that was a little bit bigger, and it was then pending on the market for 290, I think it was. We had one that sold for 180, and we had another one that sold for 187. And if you remember earlier in this video, I said, well, maybe we could get like 175 for ours off market, right? Well, we just went through the long way, and we found out that our wholesale price is around 172,000. So again, that's kind of a way to double check your work, right? So we went the long way and found 172,000. But if you also look at the houses that are fix and flips that are selling, like the houses that still need to be fixed and flipped, you can also kind of get your wholesale price that way. So 172 is about where a fix and flipper is going to actually pay for it, but we need to make money as a wholesaler, right? So again, if we want to make about 20,000, well, we need to lock that up for 152,000, right? Because that's 20,000 less. So I might go in and I might offer off the bat 140,000 or 35,000, so that I can work up to the 152. But it's good to always be able to keep in mind what your ceiling is. So my ceiling on this, my MAO, is going to be about 152,000. Now, again, if I don't need to make 20,000 on my deals and I'm okay with making, 5 to 10,000, then I could offer higher. But where we're at, I want to make sure that we're doing less small deals and more big deals. So that's where we're going to offer on a deal like this. So I hope that helped. This is kind of how you can confidently go in and know where your ceiling is for offering on a seller. Hope it helped. As always, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will catch you in the next video.